Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We're excited to have you all here and join us for our first product webinar, our May product webinar. Before we begin, I'll let you know we are recording this webinar so we can provide you with a copy of it after the webinar is over. Start with some intros today. So my name is EJ Mina. I'm the product manager here at ClickMate. I'm very excited to walk you through some of the latest updates we've made to the platform, updates that are designed to make your maintenance operations even more efficient and effective. Very quick history on me. So I've worked in the CMMS EAM tech space since 2016. I've led product development. I currently lead product development and feature planning here with ClickMate, and I've conducted on-site facility audits with customers across the globe, North America, Europe, Africa, you name it. Joining me today is my colleague Mel, who is ClickMate's product enablement manager. She'll be helping administer the webinar today, and some quick details about her. She's worked in CMMS and asset management space for 10 plus years. She's led multiple teams to help create various learning methods of SaaS products, and she's trained thousands of maintenance technicians and facility leaders, helping them achieve their software goals. Today's webinar is all about keeping you in the loop on what's new with ClickMate. We're going to highlight key product updates that bring more speed, clarity, and control to your day-to-day. And our goal is to show you how these changes deliver real value and help your team get more done with less friction. A few fun facts about ClickMate. We are a Canadian company with our headquarters in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Most of our team resides here, but we do have a few members outside of Manitoba. Although we're a relatively new company, our leadership team has a lot of experience, having over 40 years of combined experience working in the CMMS space. ClickMate offers a full feature CMMS that is web-based and mobile, meaning our customers can access the software from any device that can be connected to the internet. We offer our data hosting within Canada, as well as the US through Amazon Web Services. 46% of our customers are in manufacturing and food and beverage production. 25% of our customers are based in Canada. ClickMate is recognized for its ease of use, fast and simple implementation, and fast ROI and speed to value. We're super proud of the awards and accolades that we've picked up over the past year, and these awards acknowledge us for our ease of use, fast ROI, and high value. So here's a quick look at what we'll cover today. First, we'll walk through a few new major features. First one being procedures. Second one is downtime, which is an open beta, and how both of these can help your maintenance operations. Then I'll highlight a few other key enhancements that we've shipped recently. And after that, I'll give you a preview of what's coming next on our roadmap. Finally, we'll wrap up with a few common questions we've been hearing and how you can reach us with any other questions as well, along with answering questions from the Q&A. All right, so jumping in, one of the biggest updates this quarter is the launch of procedures. This is a powerful new way to standardize how work gets done in ClickMate. So let's talk about first the problem that it solves. Maintenance teams, they sometimes rely on informal knowledge or loose instructions for recurring tasks. What this will lead to is inconsistent execution, missteps, and training gaps, especially when there's turnover or teams are growing. Procedures will help solve that by letting you build step-by-step workflows that your technicians can follow right inside the work order. Who is this feature for? This feature is especially useful for maintenance leads, quality managers, and any team really just trying to ensure consistent auditable work across inspections, safety checks, PMs, or compliance workflows. The real benefit here is that procedures will make your workflows foolproof. Every technician will know exactly what to do every time. No missteps, no confusion. It's faster, more reliable, and way easier to train your new staff. So we're going to jump into an interactive demo here. And you should be seeing, there we are. You should be seeing my ClickMate dashboard. So procedures will always be available in the left menu. Before we get to that page there, First, I want to jump into the admin settings to show you a couple settings that you can turn on. So under admin settings, manage modules, and let me make my window bigger so it's easier to see. There we go. If we go to work orders, under the available fields for the work order form, you can enable procedures to be visible or not visible. When this toggle is enabled, you'll see the procedures field on the work order forms. So we want to have that turned on, and up top here, there's a setting, which I'll demo later as well. This will require comments for work orders with incomplete procedures. For example, if you have a procedure to do a smoke alarm inspection and maybe only 9 out of the 10 steps have been completed, you can require your technician to add a comment indicating why they haven't completed that final step. So those are some settings to enable. We'll hop over to the procedures page now. So this is the module for procedures. Procedures is global, so you don't have to make a procedure for every facility. You create it once, and then the procedure will be available across all of your entities. This page operates just like all the other modules that we have in the application. You can search for a procedure. You can filter down to find a particular procedure. And then you can see details about the procedure, including name, description, what it's linked to, when it was created, who created it, and etc. Creating a procedure is very easy. So in the top right screen here, there's a button to create a new procedure. When I click this, we'll be presented with the new procedure modal. Very minimal details to add to your procedure. You really just need a name and a description. So let's make one today. Let's call this smoke alarm. And let's call it smoke alarm inspection. Actually, I have one already, so let's try and make this one more unique. Can I delete this one right now? Let's just rename this. All right. So let's call this smoke alarm inspection. And we'll call it, give it a description. So this is the procedure to follow for inspecting smoke alarms. And then when I click the save button, it's going to create the procedure. A procedure is created as a template so that you can reuse it on different work orders and different PMs. If you edit the procedure template while it's active on a work order, you don't have to worry about that procedure on the work order changing. Those are treated separately, so you can make changes to your procedure template for the next time you want to use it on another work order. So with my procedure template created, I'm ready to now add my step-by-step workflow. And these are going to be items that you create underneath. So I'll click this button here. And first I'll show you the different types of steps that we offer in ClickMate. There'll be more to come, which I'll talk about in our roadmap section of the webinar. But we're starting off with these options here. So the first type is a checkbox type. This would be like a simple yes and no. There's a date field, an inspection. Inspection is a pass, flag, or fail. So you'll see when we add an inspection option, our technician will be able to pick one of those answers. Multiple choice, where you'll get to provide different choices for your technician to select. They'll pick one, and that'll be the answer for the procedure item. A number field, a text field, and then yes, no, NA, which is like the inspection, but it's just yes, no, or NA. So let's go ahead and just add some steps to our procedure. First one, we'll make it a checkbox. We'll call this smoke alarm securely fastened to the wall. And then this will be a simple checkbox, yes or no. And then we'll do another one, smoke alarm, date of manufacture. So I want to know what is the date of manufacture for my smoke alarm, and we'll use the date field. All right, we'll add another one. This will be an inspection type. We'll ask our technician to inspect the vent holes for obstruction And we'll use the inspection type. Okay, couple more to go. Smoke alarm is powered by, and we'll use multiple choice for this and provide a couple options. So the first option, this one will be AC wiring. And then we'll add another option, standard battery. And then the third option will be long life. So I've provided 3 options that our technician will choose from when they're inspecting the smoke alarm. And then we'll add a number option. So let's say number of tests ran. And we'll also add a text field option. So this can be name of smoke alarm brand. That'll be text. And then there's just one more item type to add, which will be our yes, no, NA. And this will do something simple. Smoke alarm has been vacuumed. Awesome. So I've added one step of every type to our procedure so we can see what that looks like when we get to the work order. You also notice that these are customizable where you can drag and drop the order. So if you wanted your technician to do this smoke alarm fastened to the wall, yes, no option, maybe second or third, you can just click and drag and you can reorder your procedures accordingly. All right, so we'll click save. There we are. Our procedure has been successfully updated. There's a preview here. We'll also see this preview when we get to the work order. And we'll close this out. Now I want to put this on a PM. So I'll go to the PM module and I'll hit the work order button. I won't go through this work order form very thoroughly. By now you might be familiar with it. If not, we do have training we can provide, help documents as well too, that can show you how to create a work order. But we're going to create a preventive work order. And then let's call this monthly smoke alarm inspection. Okay, let's add a short description. Includes procedures for inspecting smoke alarms. And I don't have my smoke alarms as assets inside my entity, so I'm just going to pick the first floor. Our technician will cover all of them on the floor. And then you'll see down here underneath the vendor dropdown is that we have our procedures to select from. You can select one or more. For our purposes today, I'm just going to select one for now. So that's the smoke alarm inspection we created. Checklist is there, but you'll likely transition from checklist to procedure. So we'll just stick with the procedure we created. And then our schedule. So let's set this up to generate every month on the first of the month starting, let's say June 1st. Okay. We're going to activate that one so we can demo it today. But for our purposes, let's create this PM. There it is. So on the PM and on work orders, we do have previews of what that procedure is. So if you want to know what you need to do before you actually do the work order, look for the procedure section. You can see a view procedure button. This is the list here. We saw that after we created the procedure, so everything looks familiar and consistent. I also have the ability to add other ones. So if maybe you missed a procedure when you were creating this PM, you can select from your list. And then I can also remove this one if I want to also. Let's go ahead and just activate this PM now. Okay, and it's been activated and we'll go to the active work order. So here's the active work order. In the procedure section, this will show you a preview of what the item is. So it gives you the task name or description, and then the response if provided. So this first one is a checkbox. We haven't provided an answer to it yet, so it just says false, but everything else underneath is an empty space here. Now, in terms of responding to the procedure, let's say that I've started this and I'm ready to get the work done. I'll click the View Procedure button, and this is what the procedure response modal looks like. I will call out at the top here that we are saving responses automatically. So you don't have to worry about having everything done in one shot. You can come back to it later. We'll save the responses. You don't have to worry about losing any data. This is the first item, the yes, no checkbox. You select that, you can see that it's saved. We'll answer our date option. So this was for setting the smoke alarm date of manufacture. So this one is 2021, say January 1st. And I'll just pick any time here. The next one was the inspection type, so pass, flag, or fail. So we'll say it passes, the vent holes aren't obstructed. This is the multiple choice option, so smoke alarm is powered by, and then I select one of these. So we'll say AC wiring. The number of tests ran field, this is the number field, so I ran 5 tests. This is the text field, name of smoke alarm brand, we'll say first alarm. And then yes, no, NA, our last item type. Smoke alarm has been vacuumed. I'll make the screen a little bit bigger. There was a request there. Hopefully that works. We'll say yes to this one. Okay, great. So you might have seen that when I've answered the last item, the complete button becomes enabled, so I can complete the procedure. And then when I go back to the work order form, you can see that now I have it completed with a check mark icon, and you can see that it's done. All right. If I open up the collapsible section, you can see that I have my responses there. I can preview as well. If I wanted to open up the procedure again, there's this button here where I might have done that too quickly. Let me take one step backwards. You click on this button and it'll allow you to reopen the procedure. All right. We also do provide a full history of the procedure responses, so you can see what was answered, when, and by who. And I mentioned earlier there's a setting that will require you to add a comment if you have any incomplete procedures. So in the case of this procedure, if I didn't indicate how many tests I ran, you can see this button is not there anymore. It's not complete. There's no longer a complete badge. So when I try to complete the work order, either by marking it in review or completed, I'll have a little warning banner at the top here that'll ask me to add a comment. So if I try and get past that, it'll still ask me. This is optional. You can turn it off. But for those of you who might be using the setting, you can instruct your team to add a comment. So I did not need to run tests. Click save. All right, with our comment added, we can go ahead and complete the work order. All right, that is our procedures demo. Please add any questions you have into the Q&A section, and we'll get to them in the webinar when we get there. We are going to jump next to downtime. It's another feature. So this is downtime tracking. This is an open beta right now. We have some more fixes and enhancements coming to this, but we'd like you to try it out if you're interested. So let's talk about what downtime tracking is. It's a new way to monitor asset reliability. The problem that it solves is that there isn't a consistent way in ClickMate right now to track asset downtime. It's hard to measure things like performance, find issues, and then make decisions on how to rectify them. Teams might rely on guesswork or incomplete data and won't understand how often and how long assets are down. So what downtime tracking does, it solves that by automatically recording when assets go offline, whether it's planned or unplanned. And we also calculate some key metrics that are important, like MTTR, which is mean time to repair, and MTBF, which is mean time before failure. So this happens right inside ClickMate using asset statuses and linked work orders. Who would use this feature? Oh, sorry. Its feature is especially useful for reliability managers, maintenance leads, operation teams, and those that want to reduce unexpected failures and improve long-term asset performance. The benefit here is that there's no more guessing why machines are underperforming. You'll get real data to back up your decisions so you can plan smarter and get faster work done and reduce downtime. So we're going to jump into a demo for this as well. Okay, so first I will also show you how to enable downtime. So under admin settings in manage modules, look for the assets settings. Up top here, there's a track downtime beta setting. When this is on, this will enable asset downtime tracking. What this does for you, it turns on all of the asset downtime tracking modules in the application. So let's jump over to assets. With that tracking feature on, when I go to the assets details card, there'll be a new tab here that'll show you downtime status. So this tells us the current status of our asset, whether it's online or offline. Also allows us to add historical downtime events if we have some in the past and we need to manually add them. There's a reliability history graph here, which will show us the offline versus online percentage in hours for your asset in whichever time period you're trying to look at. So for example, this asset has been online for 85% of this month and offline for 15% of this month. And then down below, we have a whole entire log of asset downtime events. So when we started tracking the asset, as well when it was first marked unplanned offline or online as well. So there's a complete log of your downtime history, including the work orders that correspond to that downtime. So in ClickMate, marking an asset as down is associated with a work order. As I mentioned, you can add historical downtime, and that's this update manually button. So here, this will add offline time and either unplanned or planned, and then you can determine when exactly that time period was. Also add a note as well if you desire. I'm just going to click cancel here because we want to mark downtime related to a work order. So I'll hit the work order button. All right, and let's simulate what it looks like for marking an asset as down. So we'll call this CO alarm down. And description is not working. Let's mark this as high. And we'll put it under inspection. Okay. So because I did it from the asset details, and I click the work order button, it's already pre-selected my asset. But if I were to select another one, you'll see underneath, there'll always be a set asset status to offline toggle. What this does, it actually takes the asset and turns it offline at the same time as creating the work order. If you miss this and you don't enable it while you create the work order, you can still go back into the work order and mark the asset as offline. For our purposes today, let's do that together. And then I'll hit save. All right, I'm just going to refresh my screen here. Okay, so you can see that the asset is now offline. I'm going to jump to the work orders module just to show you how to navigate finding the work order and finding which assets are offline because of the downtime. So here on the work orders page, if you haven't ever seen this gear icon, this is one where you can customize your dashboard and find things that are important to you. For me, I've taken the asset and downtime columns and I've put them closer to the front of the table. And what that allows me to do is see the work order, which asset, what its current status is, and then I'm able to see which work order has the ongoing downtime. So a minute ago, we created the work order for the CO alarm being down. You can see how long it's been. Now, when I go into the work order, same information. There's the asset offline, the ongoing time. If we were to wait 15 minutes, we would see that number change to 15. But for time saving purposes today, let's go ahead and just complete the work order. So I'll mark it in progress, and then I'll do the work on it. I'll hit complete. So on this action here, it's now asking me to take the asset back online because I've completed the work. I can either select a date and time, or I can just use the shortcut and it will mark the uptime as to this exact moment that I click the apply button. It's not going to be very long for our purposes today. I'll hit apply, but you can see the total downtime for this work order and this asset was only 2 minutes. Probably a good thing. Means I guess you repair stuff very quickly. All right, so let's close this out. That was our little demo of taking the asset offline, marking it back online upon completion of a work order. Other modules or other features available as part of downtime are available in the reports and KPIs section. So there's a new KPI for asset costs and downtime. This KPI will show you the top 10 highest costing assets. So the assets along with their online percentage relative to whatever time period that you're searching by. Cost is both too. I'm not adding costs to my work order, so there's very minimal here, but you can see any of your costs associated with those assets. You can click the expand button, and this will open up more graphical information here. So we have some other quick KPIs. Currently, right now, I'm just showing you all of the assets that I'm searching for this month. We can see total cost for all of them, total downtime, planned downtime, unplanned downtime, MTTR, and MTBF. MTTR is mean time to repair. So in ClickMate, what this number means, it's the average amount of time it takes to repair an asset after failure. How we calculate this is your total unplanned downtime, which is this number here, divided by the number of downtime events. And that'll give us, well, my number here is 117. You can see if I change to, let's say, focusing in on my CO alarms, that number will change. Oh, I have a typo there. There we go. So yeah, I'm at 11.8 MTTR for my alarms. And then MTBF is mean time before failure. In ClickMate, this is the average time an asset operates without failure. The way that we calculate this is the total operational time during the reporting period, so this month, divided by the number of failures. In this case, my number is 396. As I mentioned, you can filter down to particular assets. If I want to just have a list of all of them, I can change that to be the default. And then we do also have exporting to two file types, just like some of the other reports in ClickMate. So I see Mel is putting some links in there. Feel free to check those out. If you have questions about this feature or procedures, make sure you ask them in the Q&A, along with we'll follow up with you after the webinar. That's our demo for today. Again, this is an open beta, so please have a look, provide feedback, and we'll be more than happy to add more to our asset downtime module. All right. Looking good for time so far. Let's talk about additional enhancements. So alongside procedures and downtime, we've released several smaller but powerful updates that improve everyday workflows. Let's talk through a few of them. The first enhancement, which is a very popular request from our customers, is attaching files to comments. So you can now attach files and images directly to comments on work orders. This is available for both web and mobile. And what this will allow you to do is make it really easy to share any updates, clarify issues, or add documents on the fly. One request we had was, can you make it easier to add photos or files without editing a work order? This will be the solution that will help you do that. Next up is auto setting completed timestamps for in-review work orders, another popular request. So how this works is when a work order is marked as in review, ClickMate will now automatically set a completed timestamp, meaning that your work order will be marked with a completed date time when the status changes to in review. So just to make that more simple, my customer or my user changed the status of the work order in review. At that time, we'll also mark it with a completed when. This will help you have a more accurate completed date if you rely on it for reporting. We've also added our KPIs to the inventory and parts module. So directly above the table, you can see the KPIs, which can be shown or hidden with this KPI button. The new KPIs that we've added are seeing the current inventory value, tracking the number of parts that are below their minimum stock level. You can view the total cost it would take to restock those parts with cost to restock. You can see the number of open work orders that are waiting on parts. And then you can also see the total dollar value of inventory by part type. Hopefully these will help you make better decisions about restocking and seeing which parts are out of stock as well. And the last one to highlight today is a smaller one, but this one's important to call out. This is an asset code field. So we've added another field, which is separate from asset name. So you can see underneath the name of my asset, there's an asset code field. This will allow you to add more asset tagging to your assets while keeping your asset name clean and readable. All right. Up next is our upcoming features and enhancements. So the first one that I'll highlight, these are things that we're currently working on and should be available in the very near future. We're going to work on more procedure enhancements. So we're expanding procedures with more advanced field types. Commonly requested is e-signatures. You'll be able to provide an item type, a procedure step that is for requiring a signature, and then as well as an image file upload. And then we're also adding the same commenting functionality on each of those individual response items. So alongside being able to respond to a work order with comments, you'll be able to respond to each procedure item with a comment, either leaving some text or adding a photo or adding a file. We're also working on auto assigning work orders by category. So with this update, you'll be able to automatically assign work orders to your technicians based on their category. This will cut down the manual admin time that you might be consuming to assign your technicians and your team to the right work order. And this will streamline just getting the work order to the right person. And then the big one we're working on is interactive floor plans. So how this feature works is that we're building an interactive floor plan feature that will allow you to visually place your assets and locations on a map. You'll be able to click into areas of the plan and you can view things like work orders, requests, PMs. What this will help you is a much easier time visually seeing where the work is, where your assets and locations are. Just make it a lot easy for you to navigate through your dashboard, especially if you have multiple entities or just very large entities and large sites. All right. So that is our roadmap. One thing I will also mention is that we actively look at it's our Canny roadmap. You can leave features and requests on our Canny roadmap by way of accessing it through the chatbot in the application. I check for this every week. We're already seeing some awesome ideas, and please continue to do so. We get a lot of value from the suggestions and ideas that you submit. Let's jump into Q&A now. And you can leave your question into the Q&A section. And I'm just going to go through the list here. There's a good amount. Let's start with the first one, actually. Will auto-assign work orders be for vendors or just the assigned to employee? So right now we're starting with auto-assigning just for employees. We also want to look at auto-assigning for teams, potentially looking at auto-assigning for vendors. If that's something really important to you, I'd love to hear more about it. We'll do our part to connect with you after the webinar to hear about how you envision that might work. Next question, how can we convert our PM procedures to checklists? So right now there isn't a solution for this. Procedures have to be manually created, but we are aware it's something that is really important for our customers. So our team is currently looking at how to make it easy for our users to make the transition from checklists to procedures. Can I use a procedure across all my entities? Yes. So procedures are global. You only have to make them once, and then you can use them in any entity for any work order. Will interactive floor plans work for multiple buildings or sites? Yes. So floor plans will be associated to a specific location, and then a location will be able to have one or more floor plans. So you actually have a lot of floor plans per location if you desire. We're thinking of using ClickMate at another facility. Do we need a separate account? You can manage multiple entities under a single account, or you can set up another account. If you need help with this or have any questions, please contact our onboarding team or support team. We can definitely help you out with that. Can I attach multiple images or files to a procedure response? Yes, eventually. So with the upcoming enhancements, you'll be able to add a new item type that is for image and file, and then you'll be able to attach as many as you'd like for that procedure item. Downtime question. Which users can mark equipment as down? So users that are able, is a question? Okay, which users can mark equipment as down? So users that are able to submit work orders will be able to mark equipment as down. So you saw when I'm submitting a work order, there's a toggle for marking the asset as offline. You'll be able to do that. So your users like your technicians, limited admins, and your admins as well too. Can I edit a procedure after it's been assigned to a work order? Yes, you can. So again, they're procedure templates, so you can edit them after they've been added to a work order. The procedure that's been added to the work order will still have the original list intact or the original details intact. So you don't have to worry about affecting that one. How do I set up my users to use the mobile app? So if you create a user, they're automatically configured to use the mobile app. To download the mobile app, you can either go to the the Play Store if you're using an Android device, or the App Store if you're using iOS. We do also have links on our homepage that can take you directly to those stores, so you can download the app to your device. Will you be able to view assets from floor plans and all the asset details? Yes, you can. So you'll be able to plot your assets on the floor plan. When you click on the asset, you'll see the details of the asset along with open work orders and requests. QR codes. How can we apply them to our assets? How does it work for locations? Is it easy to set up? Yes. So on web, you can create QR codes for both assets and locations. It's very easy. If you go to the asset or locations module, you can bulk select. So select one or more in the list. And then when you select all of them, there'll be a QR code button where you can click that and it'll generate in bulk all the QR codes for what you've selected, as well as print them out at the same time as well too. We'll probably just go through a few more here because we have another poll and just want to leave on a high note and not keep people over time. If we don't answer your question, we do have all of them and we'll absolutely follow up with you as well. How can our new team members get training? So we do have a few ways, multiple ways to get training actually. So you could connect with our onboarding team. We have a lot of documentation in our help center. We are also going to have some focus feature trainings, which I didn't mention at the beginning, but I'll definitely mention that today at the end of this. So keep an eye out for those. I'll go two more. Actually, one more. Can requesters upload images from their mobile when creating a request? Yes. So if you're a requester on mobile, you can upload an image if you're using the mobile app, as well if you're using the request portal. You can also attach an image. There are many questions still to be answered. We only have 3 minutes, so I will make note of these, get back to each and every one of you. Thank you for submitting your questions. Keep an eye out for our follow-up email. We do have a poll here. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mel. So if you would like to respond to this poll here, we have a couple of questions. These are all anonymous, by the way. Sorry, you can't see each other's responses. We'll be able to follow up with you. Would you like training on procedures? Would you like to speak to a representative about adding users or sites? And would you like to leave a G2 review and get a $35 gift card? We actually have two reviews. Another one is a $25 one. So if you're interested in that, please answer this poll, and then we'll collect your answers and follow up with you accordingly. We'll give everybody a minute here to go through that. And it looks like there's one more. If you have any comments or suggestions for a ClickMate team, please include that also. Okay, I'm going to go to the last slide. Please continue answering the poll if you haven't yet. So that brings us to the end of our webinar. Thank you for attending. We really appreciate you being here. A few takeaways before we go. If you are a current ClickMate client, please try out the new features. If you have questions or want to talk through how these roll with your team, we're here to help. As I mentioned, we are going to be having ClickMate feature focus trainings. These will be administered by Mel. They'll be trained by Mel, and they're going to deep dive even further into some of the features that we've talked about today. If you're new to ClickMate and you want a deeper look, feel free to connect with us. We'd be happy to set up a personalized one-to-one demo. Just let us know. And we'll definitely be sending out the recording shortly along with links to our help center, release updates, so you can explore everything at your own pace. Aside from that, We have some email addresses to make note of at the bottom left here. Info if you're looking to get a demo, support if you have questions. Thank you for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We really appreciate you using our application, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. Have a great day, everybody.